You tell it, Jesse. You tell that boardwalk where to go.
Go right over there, bitch. It's where I wanted you to go in the first place. You didn't listen. Thought you knew better. No, point that way. Now guess what we gotta do? We gotta move that shit.
Wondering if there's like a better place to put the dock all together, you know?
Not only do I have to move it, which is a lot of work, I then have to erase the foundation so that people don't know that I moved it. Although everybody will know that I moved it because they're watching me move it. But I don't want to have to stand on the boardwalk and look at concrete work in the wrong position for the original wrongly positioned boardwalk. You know? I want it to just be like nature, back to nature. But I can't just erase it back to nature now. It's concrete. Threaded rods in there. Epoxy. Just shitting all over my canvas here. Trying to paint a masterpiece, and I started off with a big shit streak. My boardwalk is too close to the property line and pointing in the wrong direction, so we have to take the boardwalk, move it over here, point it that way instead of that way. So it's gonna be a fun little challenge because I don't really want to take the whole thing apart, so I'm gonna try and just slide it with engineering feats of strength.
That's right. Dig that hole. Get it, baby. I understand why everybody watches you work. I could do it all day.
This is the sacrifice of, or the price I pay for impatience and not getting a survey done before I build my boardwalk.
Tough lessons learned.
So now I gotta form up a little concrete wall through this valley here that the back of the boardwalk will sit on, and then pour 2 new piers down there. It's gonna be fun. Lots of prickle bushes in the way.
Ow.
Okay, so I've got the front wall of my new form wall kind of roughly framed in there. Just need to go overkill with it, just enough to hold a little bit of concrete here, because we're only going to be putting in, 6-8 inches of concrete, so not a lot of pressure. So now I'm just trying to scribe this chunk of plywood to fit the profile of the rock. So the way I do that first is I just kind of rough sketch it, cut it out, get it close, and then once it's within like an inch or so, then I'll grab the scribe and I'll do a little bit more of an accurate scribe. But I can usually just, with concrete work, typically just this pencil and the saw will get you close enough that it's gonna look like a good seal once it's all poured. You don't have to get too carried away. It's not like scribing a wood post to a rock or anything. So I need to come down here. then it kind of flattens out a bit.
How were you helping Daddy?
We're getting gallons bottles full of water.
To help mix the concrete? Awesome, buddy. Good job. What do you call that move?
Alright.
The bum launcher?
I always like this.
Oh, watch out. Oh, Carver. Oh, jeez.
This is what we do when it rains.
Oh.
We wrestle in the tent and wait for kids to cry.
Oh. Except for Ash. Ash is in this quiet little corner.
So the form has been setting for about 12 hours. Typically I would let it set longer, but what I want to do is I want to parge the concrete, rub it with a piece of scrapped wood, just to kind of take off any form marks and gives it kind of like a stucco appearance. So you want to do that while the concrete is still really green, meaning hasn't fully cured yet. So I'm going to gently strip this because I also need to reuse this form. So I need to make a new little base over here where the next footing is going to go. Level that and make sure it's the same height as this, and then I'm going to take these two top sections and set them over to pour the second one because I didn't have enough plywood to make two forms, so I'm reusing this one. So let's strip this thing out and I'll show you my little parging technique. Okay, so the concrete might be a little bit green still, but it's working. So you can see this is the form. You know, there's still some little air bubbles and stuff in there. And I just take a wet block of wood. Put a little bit of water on it. And get looks better to me. Well, things were going fairly well until we had the form set and in place and realized that it was 3 inches further from the other one than it should have been. So then we had to move everything, which meant this whole scribe changes, because you can clearly see that this rock is not anywhere close to uniform. So we've had to fill in scraps in the bottom and use a lot of foam. And but as much as I wanted to just throw my tools in the lake and call it a day, I choose to persevere and persist, because in the end it's going to be worth it. And it'll be a great memory to sit around the fire right at them, and we can just laugh and be like, remember that day we were trying to put that footing together? It took us, what, 3 hours just to put this thing in the right spot?
But you know what? The rain stopped and the sun came out.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So, we're finally ready to pour this thing. And what you see right before you right now is a full day's work of 2 of us. This is what we've progressed to right here. We also screwed that form back together, which will sit on top of here, but some days you just don't get as much done as you thought, or even close. Or some days it's just an absolute laughing stock. But keep going. One day we'll have a dock.
Open the other bag.
Handful of
A little more. A little more.
just a wee bit.
All right. Well, I think she's poured. We need to move that.
It's right about there.
We did it.
We did it. Hooray. What's that from?
I don't
Dora the Explorer, man.
I don't watch Dora the Explorer.
All right, so I have been scratching my head trying to figure out what the best way would be to move this boardwalk apart from taking the whole thing apart and moving it one piece at a time. If you guys have any ideas or experience with moving large, heavy objects, feel free to comment below. I would appreciate any insight or ideas you guys might have.